Welcome, all of you. Let us continue our journey to understand principles or important aspects of project management. Yesterday, we covered two of them, and today we'll continue with the understanding of tailor based on context. Okay. Now, as the word suggests, tailor based, that simply means it is something to do with customizing. When we say something is tailor made, or we go to a tailor, like in physical and practical terms, day to day life, when we say that, okay, I got this suit or I got this dress tailored, right? We often use this term. So, what do we understand by when we say something is tailored? That means something has been customized or, made uniquely for particular, I would say as per particular requirement. So generally, this term is used in in context of clothing. So that means if something is tailored for you, means it is uniquely, I would say, customized or change as per your requirement. Right? Everybody with me on this? This
Yes.
word tailored, yes? Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yes.
often use this term. Okay.
Mm.
Now let us understand what it means from project management point of view. Okay. So may I request someone to read the text mentioned on the left hand side, please?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Yes,
Tailoring.
please.
Design the project development approach based on the context of the project, its objectives, stakeholders, governance, and the environment using just enough process to achieve the desired outcome while maximizing value, managing cost, and enhancing speed.
Thank you for reading it out. So what it says is what we discussed in the non-project management context. In similar way, in project management context, it says that designing and developing an approach towards the project implementation on the basis of what is the objective of the project, what does the stakeholder wants, what are the requirements from the audit and governance point of view, and also we have to be sure that we are just working towards what the project wants, right? Not what you want to develop. This is a very important aspect, as I've already mentioned. Many a times in the zing or in the, I would say, flow of development team or implementation team just goes overboard and they develop too many functionalities or they develop actually unwanted, I would say, unwanted functionalities or extra features. Okay, and trust me, this is a real life problem. So we have to ensure that we always develop or we always work on what is asked by the customer and not what is you want to develop on. So remember this, okay? And again, we are saying this is all is tailor based or this is customized. That means we are not fitting one I would say one solution for all. No, this is customizable. Like if I have to tell you that okay, guys, you all can work on a particular, I would say, project. Okay, so now that project should be customized to all of you. That means you, like for example, Suchita might work as per her understanding or as per her requirement. Okay, Ajibu might go ahead with his or her understanding. So in this context also all the projects will be tailored or tailor made as per your understanding and your requirement, right? Like I'll give a very simple example. Everybody here makes coffee. Give me an answer, yes or no.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, everyone, I'm coming to a point. Yes. Okay, so tell me, does everybody's coffee taste the same or different? Because it's a
Different.
coffee, right? There has to be like same formula, same recipe, same method of preparing it, nothing fancy. So still, does everybody's coffee taste the same?
No.
No. Why?
If the process will same, then test will be same.
Really? Most of the times?
Most of the
Okay.
time different.
Coffee would
It
be an easy example.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine somebody is cooking a particular dish, any dish that you like. Say, I generally keep it veg biryani. Okay,
Yeah.
ingredients are same, spices are same, but still, when different people make it tends to be different. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because that is what is your personal touch. So that is what
Yes.
we are trying to understand here, because we all will tailor it as per our liking, our experience, and our process. Doesn't matter even the ingredients in the steps or in the recipes same manner when we are talking about tailoring a project. So we are saying that we have to stick to the requirements and whatever inputs that we have given, and also the outcome should have maximum value, minimum cost, and definitely with a better speed. So we have these ingredients ready with us. Okay, so if somebody asks you what are the important aspects or important factors of tailoring a project, or what are the basic factors you look at. So these are the important aspects that you have to consider. Like, first of all, what is the objective of the project? What is the context of the project? That means what this project is trying to implement, or what this project is trying to express, like which domain it belongs to. Is it a banking application? It is an insurance application? If it is a fashion industry application, textile application. So first of all, it will have a domain, then it will have some objective, like how we say a hospital coming up with a website to reach out to customer world, or sorry, patients worldwide, or maybe an artist going online with his or her all the artwork, painting, or might be pottery. So what is the purpose? What are we looking at? And then even after we know why this is being created, we have to ensure we are giving the maximum value. We are doing it at the minimum cost. That means it's not that, okay, we want to make a great application, so we are just continuously working on that without considering the budget, without considering the timelines. No, we have to be very much, I would say, uh, focused on these aspects also, that we do not cross the timelines, we do not cross the limited budget that we have, and along with that, we give the quality product. That means whenever we deliver to the customer, we give it to the testing, the customer should be happy, should be content, and should be satisfied. Everybody with me on this?
Yes. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
that's right.
It is as simple as that. Our very practical reason, we give something to tailor for alteration as per our requirement, and then if the tailor does a fantastic job, how happy we are, right? Because it's
Yeah.
tailoring, it is as
Yeah.
per your custom requirements. But then if they spoil it, trust me how bad it feels. You're like, all my efforts, because you are invested in that, you are putting in a lot of efforts, when you tailor something. You- when you buy something ready made, you don't have much expectations from that clothing, right? As in the form of fit, because it's a standard size, it's gonna fit you as per your body type, and you're okay, you're like, okay, fine. And then we even say, if something goes haywire, if it's not fitting properly, I will get it tailored. So you see the difference, following a complete typical setup or a template than following a tailor-made project. Okay, so that is the beauty, or that is the importance of tailoring in project implementation. Now let us understand these 3 points, which we have already, I would say, have discussed, but we'll go through over it. Yes. Anyone, any three people? Go ahead. Yes.
Each project is unique.
Absolutely, nothing to explain there. Every project is different, it's unique. Yes, next. Next
Project
point.
success is based on adapting to the unique context of the project to determine the most appropriate methods of producing the desired outcomes.
Yeah. So now, here for simplicity sake, we will say that, okay, depending on what kind of project it is. Like, for example, there are still applications which are developed on waterfall method. I know it is not advisable, but then sometimes there might not be any need, or then they are very simple, or they are very easy. They might be very short lived. So, or maybe for a short duration, that time you can. But then there are projects which are complex in nature, which has multiple systems involved, which has multiple input criterias or input sources, and it requires a lot of research or understanding. For those projects, yes, we say that we can and we should implement agile in a very effective manner, right? So depending on what is the type of the project, what is the complexity of the project, what is the ask of the project, what is we trying to deliver to the customer, we can decide, or we can come to a conclusion of what type of implementation or project execution style we can determine, and that should give us desired output. That means if we follow a particular way of implementing a project, maybe agile, so what kind of outcome or result we are looking at? So we are looking at a result that is fast paced, that is in the best quality, that is with the best value, and that is with the customer acceptance. Because in agile, we keep going back to the customer in every stages, asking them, after every sprint, checking for a review, or getting a review that okay, this is done or not. So we are basically at a much better place than anyone who's working in a waterfall method, where there is no connection and no interaction between customers and the developers. Okay, everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next point, please. Yes, anyone? Go ahead.
All right, tailoring the approach is iterative and therefore it's a continuous process throughout the project.
Yes. So tailoring a project is iterative, means it's gonna be in a spiral way, it's gonna be in a continuous method. When we say something is iterative, that means it will happen again and again in a loop kind of thing, and therefore it is a continuous process. So it when we tailor something, or when we alter or change or edit something for a particular project, that means it's not a one time job. Okay, so if you have tailored for one functionality, if you're tailored for one part of the project, we have to ensure that we keep customizing, changing, doing the modification for the entire project. So it is as simple as that. When you give a particular cloth to a tailor for editing, sorry, audit, not editing, not auditing, it's for altering. Do you just say, okay, alter the sleeves, or alter the whatever neck, or just alter the height? We generally tend to give the entire measurements, yes or no?
Yes.
Though you
Yes.
might need
Yes.
alteration at one particular place, it can be on the length, or on the width, or whatever. But generally, the tailor tends to take the all the measurements, right? It is such a simple, I would say, it is such a simple way. But see, even they implement this, I would say, feature unknowingly. Because when you are in a project, you just don't look at from only one angle. We have a holistic view of the entire project, right? So it doesn't matter you are developing only which functionality, or you're only in one segment. When we look at customization, we look at customization as a whole, right? So
Yes.
it's as simple as that. When we give customization to any food item, like, if you're ordering a particular chocolate cake with maybe some sprinklers, chocolate chips, or whatnot, some customization. So, does it happen to only one part of the cake, or the entire cake? Entire cake, right?
Yep.
Any
Yes.
customization you give. So, same way, when we are saying we're altering a project, that applies to entire project, right? From start to completion. Any doubts in tailoring concepts? I know it's a very realistic, easy concept, but then we have to connect that to the project execution part of it. Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody good? Any doubts?
No.
No.
No? Thank you so much. Let's move. Yes, now this is quite important. Build quality into processes and deliverables. Okay. Now, everybody is focused on delivering quality products. Yes or no? Because
Right.
generally,
Yes.
yes, quality is generally associated with delivery. Like, okay, when we hand over or hand it over to the customer, that time the product should be of quality, right? It is a very general understanding. But tell me, if you don't build quality or if you don't follow the process to cultivate or implement quality, will you be able to get a quality product? So it's
No.
as simple as that. If you don't use quality ingredients for your recipe, or if you don't use quality raw material, quality wood for your furniture, will your furniture output, whatever it is, a sofa, bed, chair, whatever you're making, a wardrobe, if you don't have good quality wood and good quality material, will that product turn out to be good? Yes or no?
No.
Why?
Because quality is not good.
Because
Because of the
while
materials.
working
Yeah.
on it,
Sorry,
yeah,
material.
sorry, somebody said something.
No, I just said because
Yes,
of the
Abhishek.
because of the
Uh-huh.
materials that were used to create that.
Yes, because of the material, because of the way you worked on it, you get poor material, you can't make it sturdy, you can't take important, I would say, uh, you know, uh, decisions like, if there is a good material, it can take more weight, it has more durability, it has it has better quality performance wise, like if you are making a storage and it can actually hold up to more weight, if it is a sofa, it won't have any creaky sound, it will be sturdy, it will be good in looking as well as functionality. So it's a very basic rule. So just like how we treat a child from childhood, if we give them we call it sanskar, if we give them good sanskar, it's as simple as if we give them good discipline, good
Yeah.
scheduling, good
Yeah.
direction, the output is going to be good. So
Good.
same way, to get a good output, actually it should be other way around. To get a good quality delivery, we have to have good processes implemented, right? So from this
Yes.
understanding, let us get into
Yes.
the details. Can I request someone to read out the text mentioned on the left, please? Yes? Anyone?
Yeah, I guess I can go ahead.
Yes, please.
Uh-huh. Quality.
Yeah, yeah.
Maintain a focus on quality that produces deliverables that meet project objectives and align to the needs, uses, and acceptance requirements set forth by relevant stakeholders.
Absolutely right. So here we are definitely just focusing and saying that to reach or to meet the needs of users and stakeholders and to come to the level of, I would say, acceptance, that means any stakeholders who is actively engaged in this project, who is looking at the deliverables, they should be happy, they should feel it is rightly developed, it is as per their requirement, it is there as per their objectives, it as per their specifications. For that entire thing we have to focus on delivery. So in short, implement not delivery, implement quality. Implement quality in every stage and step of your project execution. It starts with requirement gathering, it starts with understanding the objective, it starts with designing, it starts with, implementing, developing, testing. So every phase of software development life cycle has to be ensured that it is quality safe. This is a strange term, but it's a very important term. That means we are safe, or we are happy to say that it is as per the quality that was being asked for, or that is what you deliver as an organization or as a team. Okay. So we have to have a very focused attitude, very concentrated attitude towards quality from every angle. When I say every angle, that means what are the customer is asking, what is the objective, what is the requirement, what is the interest, what is the I would say goal that the customer has in mind. And again, when we deliver that, we have to ensure the stakeholders are happy. See, ultimately, it's all. I mean, it's a very weird way, but this is a practical way to say it. It all boils down to how your customer feels when they get their product, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you a very simple example. Imagine as a child, go to your nostalgic days and imagine your mother was making, or your parents, father was making ice cream at home. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So, yes. So in every process, like, maybe when they're boiling milk or they're adding some essence, maybe vanilla essence, they're adding some dry fruit, whatever, they are engaging you in every process, and you can see they are doing well, and the things are shaping up. And then when you keep the ice cream in the fridge, what do you expect when you are engaged in every step and you have seen that, okay, they're putting in nice stuff and very correct ingredients, and very, I would say, absolutely in the right uh, as per the prescription or as per the recipe, like enough sugar or enough sweetness or enough whatever you like. What should be the result when you have been witnessing this entire process? How the ice cream should turn out to be? Yes. None of you had ice cream as child at homemade. It's a very surprising thing. You must have, right? So my simple question is, if you could see that your parents or your siblings were picking as per what is your liking or as per the proper method, the ice cream or the result will turn out to be perfect as per what you
Yeah.
like. Yes
Yes.
or no?
Yep.
Yeah, because they've put everything that you like. So guys, it is as simple as that.
Yes.
I know we are taking or comparing examples like ice creams and cooking or whatever, but then end of the day, think from delivery point of view. This is what your customer wants, and this is what you're doing. So you are on the right path. You are working as per their specifications, and you are doing that with quality. That's it. We've already won the game. Okay.
Yeah.
So can we
Yes.
request, can I request someone, maybe only one person can read all the 3 points, please? Go ahead.
Project quality entails uh, satisfying stakeholders. This is very small, I think. Expectations and sorry, fulfilling project and product requirements. And second one also,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. All three, go ahead.
acceptation criteria or deliverables. Project quality entails ensuring project was appropriate.
Project processes. Is it so
Yeah.
small? It's
Actually,
quite a bit
I'm in a, yeah, I'm very
better
short.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read out for you. Thank you for reading the 2 points. So we are saying project quality entails ensuring project processes are appropriate and
Appropriate.
as effective as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Suchita. Still, I was not aware that it is so small for you,
Yeah,
but thank you
actually,
for
I'm in
highlighting.
mobile.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah, it tends
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
quite small in that screen. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Very
what we are saying, when we are delivering to the customer, the quality has to be as per their expectations and as per the overall project requirements. I mean, this goes without saying. Okay, this is something that need not be a question on this, right? Because that's why we are working. Next is definitely it is as per the acceptance criteria. If the customer has said something very explicitly that okay, they want to develop, they want a product, they want an application uh, to ensure that there is security implemented or there is any particular functionality. They don't want unauthorized access or they have very strict rules about whom should be accessing their application. So all these requirements have to be considered while we are working on it. Whatever it can be, right? Sometimes there are multiple, I would say, customer requirements. Must have different customer takes that okay they want any specific ask they have okay if like for example I remember when we were working for an Indian banking and insurance client. They were revamping their theme and they had recently revamped or changed their logo. So they wanted everything as per their new logo color theme, right? It's a valid ask because they want to reflect that color and that look and feel into their application. So yes, it can be anything. It can be as simple as from designing aspect to implementing a functionality aspect, right? So that is as per the client's acceptance criteria. And last but not the least, it should be as per the processes that you are implementing, project management processes, agile methodology, whatever you are implementing, it should be as per that and it should be as effective as possible. That means it's not only that you're working on it, but when you finish working, when you're delivering it to the customer, it has to be of the best quality. Yes,
Yes.
everybody with me on this?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay. Now let us continue. We've understood, okay, we have to deliver quality, we have to deliver timely, we have to deliver as per customer requirement. But how do we understand complexity? I don't think so. I'll have to explain complexity to everyone. We all of our lives are complex enough and on day-to-day basis. So yes, complexity means something challenging, something that uh, you know opens your eyes to the situation, something critical, something, I will not say always critical, but something that would require additional efforts from you to complete that or to achieve the required results. Okay. So, yes, what is complexity? Let us understand from project management and project implementation point of view. Yes. May I request someone to read the text mentioned on the left, please?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Yes.
Continually evaluate and navigate project complexity so that approaches and plans enable the project team to successfully navigate the project lifecycle.
Yes. Now we are saying continually evaluate and navigate. Okay, now these are two important words. Evaluate means, first of all, as a team member or as a development team member, while you're executing, while you're actually programming, developing the code, we should understand what kind of complexities we will face. The complexities can be in the form of any ways. It can be in the form of requirements. It can be in the form of implementing a particular requirement. Like I'll give you a very real life example. The same client that I was asking. Sorry, I was telling you about banking insurance client. Now, all of you know that there are those trend graphs or trend charts in any shares or banking sites, like showing how a stock is doing or how what is the market trend. Those X and Y axis charts. Have you all seen? Yes, everyone.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, what had happened? While I had started the project, I had joined an organization just after the kickoff of the project. Okay, so I was not a part of the first a couple of pitch meetings. So when I was given this project, I had to just start with the requirement and start implementing that. So everything was decent, going quite decent, though the customer was adamant on particular things, but those were manageable. Now comes a part of this particular chart. Now, what had happened in the initial pitch meetings, the I would say designing team seniors took they make all the mock-up or wireframes. Okay, we'll come to that in later sessions. So they make something that will look like your website, just to get the feel of the output to the customer. And they had a particular chart which was very nice. It was a print, or it was just a, I would say, UI effect. It was just like one design they had shown, but that in that design, that chart had this functionality of, when you click on a particular, like, when the mouse is kept on a particular point, you get to see all the numbers, like how much is the rise or fall, what are we standing at, just how the Sensex, or just how the share market charts are done. Okay. So everything was going fine. And when we realized to develop that kind of charts, we had to take Google subscription, because it was not a free chart. It was not a free graph. There had to be made customization or tailoring, right? Now, it might sound very simple that, okay, what's a big deal? Go get Google, subscription or something like that. But then there are two aspects to it. First of all, the finance aspect, like it is not a free activity, or it is not a free subscription. You have to pay decent amount of dollars. It might not be huge, but definitely it's an expense. Second, is your development team equipped or skilled enough to implement that within your application, right? So these were, though it is sounding quite easy while I'm explaining this, but then we really had to go through a lot of discussions, trying to convince the customer that, okay, yes, though we had shown that in the designing, apparently it was, if you ask me as a third person, it was a very big fault or mistake on the designing part, because if you are implementing something that is gonna cost you additional, as a good practice, we should tell the customer that, okay, this will involve extra money, this will involve extra cost, right? This is why it's very practical. This is very, I would say, realistic, that we should do that. Okay.
Mhm.
They had not done that, so we really had a tough time trying to make the customer or client understand that this will involve extra budgeting, and but we did that. Ultimately we did that, and they were quite happy. But then, trying to understand, this was a complexity on different level. One was an implementation level from development team point of view, and one was from the customer point of view, that customer will pay or not, or how we can incur this expense. So these kind of things happen in real life, right? It can Complexity can be in the form of, we have mentioned, is human behavior. Like, some people might be making the work difficult, or they might not be cooperative, or it can be like, what if your team is unavailable on a particular day? Maybe there is too much rains, and assuming we are going pre-corona phase, no work from home possible. So how people will turn up and how the work will happen. See, so there can be any type of complexity. We are open to any kind of challenges most of the time. So yes, so there might be some issues with the system interactions. You are not able to understand or implement how the data flows from one system to another, and you need to understand, there is some ambiguity, or there is some confusion. So this is, trust me, the part and parcel of daily work life, though it is not as critical as it sounds. But then there is a continuous learning, there is complexity involved, and we have to work on that. Okay, so I've covered the first point. Can I request someone to read the 3 points, please? Even the second point is easy. Let me cover it. So we are saying complexity can and it does occur at any given point of time. Like, we can't have a timing on the complexity. But okay, only at this stage, only at implementation stage. No, even the requirement gathering stage, things are complicated, things are not properly explained. There can be complexity. So it is a continuous, I would say, cycle. So we have to be very alert. We have to be very open to what the customer says and how it happens. Yeah. Okay. Next 2 point, please. Third and fourth. Anyone?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Yes, please.
Complexity can be introduced by events or conditions that affect value, scope, communications, stakeholders, risk, and technological innovation.
Next point.
Project teams can stay vigilant in identifying elements of complexity and use a variety of methods to reduce the amount or impact of complexity.
Yes. So first of all, we are saying that it can and it does occur in any state, any situation, and in any aspect, right? So it can be in the form of scope creep. It can be in the form of any communication gap. It can be, any particular stakeholders, are being difficult, or they are not sure with their requirements, or they are not, I would say, able to share what their views or what are their uh, actual requirements are. So it can be in any way. Technically, you're not able to implement something. There can be a risk of some security issue. There can be risk of data, uh, migration, or some or the other aspect of this implementation that is not safe, or that is not easy, or that is not regular that we work on. So for that, what kind of approach you should take? So first of all, we have to be very clear, and there should not be any ambiguity about the requirements. The communication between stakeholders and team members have to be open, have to be transparent, and have to be continuous. It should not be, there should not be any gap. And if there is any complexity is there, we have to ensure that we go step by step, break it down, trying to understand what is the issue and how it can be resolved, right? So there are some ways that, definitely, as per the good communication, breaking down the issues and going one day at a time or one step at a time, we can, and we generally, yes, do overcome this and implement this. And yes, though any kind of complexity might come, we can help with being, alert, being vigilant, and understanding that complexity, going step by step, having a good communication, and keeping control over your project execution, and all these things are to be done on daily basis. So it's not that, okay, on Monday you're checking what is the status and what is happening, and then on Friday, you are not aware what has been done and how things are going. So yes, it's a day-to-day relentless practice, I would say, to understand the project execution and to ensure you're keeping complexity at bay and managing it well. Okay. Any doubt in this? I'm past my time, actually. Any doubt in this?
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
No? So may I request Gaurav? Gaurav, sorry, I stretch a little. So yeah,
Not a
any
problem.
if
Yeah,
we don't have
sure.
any doubts, I'll invite Gaurav. Gaurav, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, sure. I'll take it from here.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop my screen share. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, everyone. So let me share my screen, and whatever we have looked at it as a project manager, do you only need to this much? Or what you are going to do after knowing these all cards and performance domain, as well as after knowing this all, not only just performance domain and principles, what exactly you need to do? Only the knowledge is enough? What do you think?
No.
No, of course not. So what exactly you are going to do is that your whole idea is that in the five phases, be it starting from inception or planning or execution or budgeting and controlling and closure, how will you maintain what you call the growth or the flow that is all up to you. Because before you identify the complexity, have you defined the range of the complexity? How will you get to know that things have been complex enough or not? What are all criteria in which you are going to set for the project or for any user stories or any sliced work for that matter? You are going to identify that whether it has been complex enough or not. Because you have learned complexity, let's talk about this factor, risk. So when you hear this word risk, especially in project management, I assume that many of you are already coming from the project management. What all you think should be related to risk as a project manager you need to know, or what you should be doing? Tell me, and anyone can answer. Yeah, go ahead.
Probably the scope of the project itself. If we decide to, or like it, for in some cases, if there is much more on our plate than we can actually, achieve, then that could turn into a risk, the scope itself.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, you have to, you also need to, of course, first of all, identify the risk and also make sure whether it is a positive or negative risk, because there are positive risks too. And once you've done that, and then you can use the various methodology to classify them in terms of the intensity of the risk, whether it is a high risk or medium risk or low risk.
Right.
And you can do all of that. Yes.
Great, wonderful. So whatever you said is not neither right nor wrong. Nothing is right or wrong over here. See, in Agile way, we are always improving and improvising. So when it comes to risk, how you are going to maintain it and how you are going to detect it, how you are going to foresee it, and how you are going to try to mitigate it. These these are the part of the plan, and these are the part of during the execution also you continue to plan and evolve. Okay, so when you can do what all you can do, you need to understand. But one quick input, if I'll say from project manager point of view, that always create certain metrics for your personal reference. And in fact, whenever the leadership body for demand that what exactly you have identified, when the customer demand, of course, you need to continue to update considering the transparency and the inspection and then adaptation. You need to continue to talk to your customer, keeping them in loop. And for that, you need to identify what Ajibu said, that this is one of the approach, what Abhishek tried. So what differently you can identify? I'm not saying that for certain thing, you need to follow certain template only. You create your own. And based on that, see, ultimately the thing is that you have to solve the problem, not someone else is coming from outside is going to solve the problem. That's the reason you need to identify what the matrix I am going to produce, which is going to give me support, which is going to give strengthen me only to solve any issue. So if you are understanding the, see, the risk is very common word anyone can understand, but we need to optimize it, right? And when we need to optimize it, let's understand through this card what exactly it wants to say. I want someone to read the left-hand side of this screen, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Please.
Continually evaluate exposure to risk, both opportunities and threats, to maximize positive impacts and minimize negative impacts to the project and its outcomes.
Yeah. Sure. So when you're talking about converting threats into opportunities, having opportunities as an opportunity, you had in the past looked at SWOT analysis as well, with strength, weakness. So what we need to do, strength is there, then we need to continue to be the strength, and always we need to strengthen our strength, our virtues. When we find weakness, can we convert into them into the strength already? If we are finding risk, can we convert them into opportunity, any threat into the opportunity? Opportunity will remain opportunity. Can we monetize that opportunity when it comes to organizational value add? Okay, so every single time being aware about the risk and then continue to optimize that by figuring out these parameters will help you to convert all those risks into the opportunity, and this is how you are going to add the value to the customer. But just not into the mind, you need to track this. Where you can track this, can you create any such risk tracker? Can you create any risk identifier document? Can you create any risk mitigator dashboard? So liberty is on you. Okay, you can utilize simple Excel tool, or you can go ahead utilize any another spreadsheet. You continue to maintain that. In fact, ask your entire team the moment you get to see about it, come on the spreadsheet which has been commonly shared, update them, and select some alert. Okay, execute some alert. Okay, the moment a new risk is added, one notification is thrown into your mailbox. Can you create like that? Definitely take the help of the the automation team, or take the help from anyone from the system automator, that who can enable you for such activities. Okay, such rules are there. You can you can integrate your mailbox with such spreadsheet, and the moment new risk gets added, depending upon the priority, you get notified. When you get notified, then it is always on your to-do list as a project manager, how you are going to go ahead and mitigate it. You can hold a quick mitigation plan. You can inform if you're working closely with the Scrum Master, who is responsible for removing the impediment. Of course, he has to be notified. Who are all the set of the person? See, we are here not just to learn the basics, just the definition. Based on this definition, what action you are going to take, because project manager are not just managing the stuff, they are action taker as well. They are that leader who are going to create the leader. With me so far?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you delegate it? Can you distribute it? Or can you delete it? In what manner this risk can be covered? So those are all items that you need to think of, and then thereby you need to just give me a second, guys. Yeah. So I want someone to read this indicator for me, please.
Yeah,
Please
excuse
go
me,
ahead.
Gaurav, you're sounding like you're very far away from your mic. Can you check it
Really?
out, please? Yes,
Just
yes,
give
yes.
me a second.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes, way
Yes,
better.
yes. Right
Yes,
now is
yes.
better. Yeah.
Okay, okay, great. So I want someone to read this indicator on the right side of this card. Thank you, Ajibu, for notifying that.
Yeah, individual and overall risk can impact projects. Risk can be positive, opportunities, or negative threats. Risks are addressed continually throughout the project. An organization's risk attitude, appetite, and threshold influence how risk is addressed. Risk responses should be appropriate for the significance of the risk, cost-effective, realistic within the project context, agreed to by relevant stakeholders, and owned by a responsible person.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So, see, in a nutshell or in a layman language, if I need to talk about risk, what is risk? A risk, a potential threat that you foresee could be the hindrance in the flow. Flow of what, everyone? Flow of delivery. Flow of what?
Flow of delivery.
Delivery.
Yes. And when we say flow of delivery, now no more full flow of delivery. So your objective is not just to deliver a product or software. You need to deliver the value. But again, are you going to deliver the value? No. One step ahead is what? Instead of value delivery, value has to be realized, right? By whom? By customer, right?
Customer.
So value realization has to be the objective of any program or project. And in case you foresee any threat happening into this, in fulfilling this objective, can be detected as a risk. As it says that risk can have the multiple multiple shades. Okay, you can divide into opportunities or threats. What you can do is that what are the opportunity? Can I monetize that, or can the organization monetize that? Can it be picked by someone else who is responsible for this? So you define there. So what you can define, there are multiple ways. So one you can create the metrics around is, the metrics could be any project has to undergo the Reiki. What it has to undergo?
Reiki.
Reiki. So create a Reiki matrix. What is the full form? I'm going to talk about it. It has to be roamed as well. What is Rome? I am going to talk about it. So Reiki is what? Reiki is a matrix. Rome is a matrix. Reiki means uh, whether it has been okay. Let me ask you, what do you think? What will be the full form of the Reiki when it comes to this risk? Risk. Yeah, risk as a principle. What will be the full form of the Reiki? What should be the Reiki? And you don't have to search. I want you to guess. What do we do with the risk? Any guesses?
We
So,
need to find one responsible person who can take
mm-hmm,
care of that.
mm-hmm,
Not only responsible, then we need to find who is accountable.
brilliant. What else?
Uh, Once these two people have been identified, it could be the same person as well, but they will actually not be able to resolve it themselves.
Mm-hmm,
They
mm-hmm,
will be able to, consult or take help from someone. So,
mm-hmm,
whom they need to approach to resolve that kind of risk, right?
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
so these are the three main thing. And then, once it has been resolved, then they need to provide that information to the relevant stakeholders, which is information.
Yeah, yeah. So, thank you so much, Vikas, for telling that. So, the full form of Reiki now you understand through Vikas's answer, that R is for responsible, A is for accountable, C is for consulted, I is for informed. So, this is not just for risk. You can apply this anywhere, but also it is also when you identify roles and responsibility. Yesterday, I was talking about R and R. For that also you can prepare. Rome is what you just understand whether it has been resolved or not, whether it has been owned or not, whether it has been accepted or not, whether it has been mitigated or not. So such matrix you can create. Further, you can identify certain indicator, what Ajibu said, the type of it, priority of it, again owned by whom and all, and currently to whom it is assigned. Further, people also create the risk register. It can vary organization to organization when it comes to the various parameter that you can maintain. So see, the thing is not just the learning when you are on the ground trying to deliver or making the value realized by the customer, what all activities you can own to publish, so that everyone comes on the same page, and it doesn't create a firefighting situation, but the well planned well planned I would say well planned battle program to win. Okay, so just project is not a project, it has to be a battle program, because ultimately you have to realize the value. Any questions so far in the
No.
risk? You have learned enough about the risk, that what all it can
Yes.
come with. Yeah, thank you. So let's
Yes.
understand the next principle, because risk has to be everywhere. The moment you take a step, there is a risk, whether you taking a step in air, now whether it will go
Yes.
to the ground or not. Recently,
Yeah.
the
That's,
Air India plane crash happened in India.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, how riskful it was. There
Yeah.
was uh, frequent alert was given. In our project, can we create such alert? That's what I shared with you a while ago. Okay, the moment a new risk is added into the register, can it be notified through the email? Okay, where the people fail, they failed that when they are all the time tagged by X. X is the social media platform, formerly Twitter. Okay, they might be getting notified in the email, but that did not create any buzz in their organization. That did not create any risk maintained. So they might not have taken it seriously that, when it comes to customer experience, whether it should get tracked into any spreadsheet based on certain particular, particular words, word sensitive. So whenever even you are the organization tomorrow and creating any social media platform, can you create a set of the words has been more sensitive that someone tag you with such sensitive word, you will be first notified with the highest importance of mail. So yeah, such automation can be done, but organization is failing to do, or they have least plan to consider this, because they are just thinking that these are just casual approach. Because in the past, so many people came and they said that they had created a post related to something. What could be the reason could be n number of the reason, but the reality is that plan to land in some destination has been failed. So failure is a failure. Reason could be anything. Okay. But what we can do is the mitigate, right? So what is our mitigation plan? So be very serious, because people are pumping in their money. They are bringing sponsors to make sure that they are fulfilled with um, the solution what they are seeking for their own customer. Making some sense, everyone? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Now let's move further. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. So it says what about it? It talks about the adaptability and resiliency. Okay, it's quite easy, quite philosophical words, but it's just not philosophical, because what people are failing in, okay, about it. Okay, they are failing about it, adaptability and resiliency, and it is creating a threat. It is creating a failure. So equally, it has to be embraced. Okay, so I would like to invite someone to read the left portion of this card, please. Go ahead.
Build
Build
adaptability. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Build adaptability and resiliency into the organizations and project teams approaches to help the project accommodate change, recover from setbacks, and advance the work of the project.
Can you continue with the indicator, please?
Adaptability is the ability to respond to changing conditions. Resiliency is the ability to absorb impacts and to recover quickly from a setback or failure. A focus on outcomes rather than outputs facilitates adaptability.
Right. Thank you so much for reading. Yesterday, I was talking about outcome versus output. Okay. So, this emphasizes the importance of being adaptable and resilience, you understand, in project management. But adaptability also refers to the ability to adjust the changing circumstances, because it is going to change all the time. Considering the aviation industry, how frequent weather is changing. Again, I would like to go back to the same example where someone was telling, then when the aircraft was landing in to India, in Gujarat, that time the pilot had announced that you may experience the turbulence even though weather is good. They had the question that why then turbulence if the weather is good? Okay, so uh, what are you doing to becoming adaptive to that? Okay, are you informing beforehand or not? Are you creating any plan or not to meet such circumstances? So while resiliency refers to the ability to recover from any setbacks, but still continue move forward. Okay, that is one thing is quite important. And here, when we are talking about adaptability, it means that being open to change and adjust the plan accordingly. When you talk about the resiliency, then how soon and how faster you can recover from any setback and maintain momentum. Okay, today if I read another one from the one journalist. She had tweeted in the X that how Air India people are trying to maintain the resiliency and create the momentum, even by hiding their grief and the loss of the passengers and of course the staff member, and yet greeting their new passenger with a smile. Okay. Why? Because they want to create the resiliency, they want to create the momentum, they want to embrace the continuous learning. They if they can't come back with the continuous learning approach and improvise onto that, then that can get back into the risk. Okay, are they flexible enough and maintaining any project plan to accommodate such changes as in okay, aircraft is if what do you call, if it is old enough, and who has maintained doing the RCA, root cause analysis, who was the who where it was maintained. Like it was said that in Turkey it was maintained. Okay, when it was maintained in Turkey, who had the maintenance contract? So what exactly went wrong? So all this retrospective is equally required to do so, right? And then you can reach out to the benefit of this if you are adaptable enough, if you are resilient, then it can enhance the ability to handle any uncertainty and challenges, because in any project always uncertainty has to be there. Then you need to come up with the plan in case any uncertainty comes up, how can be managed. When I'm talking about uncertainty, I would like to hear from you. What do you think, what all could be the uncertainty in the any project? Who can tell me?
Budget.
Okay, can you be more clear on budget? What exactly you want to say?
Yeah, like for instance, if there is an allocated amount that we need to make use of while implementing and delivering a specific product or project, right? Based
Mhm.
on how it proceeds or based on the project scope, sometimes we might have to see if there is enough budget for us to implement those changes, or if we would
Mhm.
possibly require um, some financial help, or if we would
Mhm.
have to cut down on a couple of features just to make sure that the project or the feature is fit within that particular budget or
Okay.
like that scope. Yeah.
You want to say that it can be that slashing of the budget,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
means a sudden budget is gone under out of control, it needs to be recovered. So
Yeah.
budget, lack of the budget can be one of the uncertainty, and that may rise all of sudden. But again, for such plan it will be snipped further. Okay, uh, it can be foreseen by the project manager, and if not, it has to be foreseen. Okay, so that if they see it, they will see it as a risk and they will go with the mitigation plan. But I am talking about uncertainty. You are uncertain and just happen, you don't have you don't foresee this. Okay, and that happens, that will undergo under uncertainty. Yes or no?
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah.
have any idea, just happened.
Yeah.
The aircraft didn't have any idea before that.
Yeah.
Maybe the same person that
Uncertainty.
hit the ground. Yeah, so what do you think in the project could be the uncertainty?
Yeah.
Project requirements.
So certain project, a certain scope creep in the project means certain sudden means what? You are just working as per plan. Sudden one
Yeah.
priority item comes up, and he wants the customer wants into the same sprint or same release.
Yes.
Okay, that could be the one of the example of the uncertainty. Okay, think from the complete project manager point of view. When you are planning, when you are even before planning, when you are initializing, when you are executing, when you are delivering, or when you are budgeting, when you are closing, what all could be the uncertainty? What else? That is one thing. what one thing I feel like taking getting out from your mind, and that is quite obvious, that continues to happen in any project. I want to see whether you are able to detect as a project manager mind or not. So let me bring me more search uncertainty other than requirement creep. What else? What else?
Resources could be a very big risk. Resources could be from internal as well as external from the vendor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the resource management part, because people, especially in IT, people keep on leaving, joining, so the competency of the resources always fluctuate. So resources are one of the key challenges. If they leave in between, due to whatever reason, so that can impact many things.
Yeah. So you are quite closer. You told exactly what is the real time scenario. See, if risk is this is the risk, and as well as uncertainty, that all of a sudden a good resource resigns, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Because you are trying to tell that. And when resigns, do we have mitigation plan? Generally, organization have the mitigation plan for this or not?
In fact, nothing is effective, right? When a person has resigned, if you ask him to work, he will not be able to provide his 100% output. So you need to work with his resource manager to find some alternative or somewhere around, because once the person has resigned, all these notice period crap and all those nonsense which happen in few companies, those are not effective. So
Okay.
that becomes a very big risk if a person who has mentally resigned will not work physically for the project.
Yeah, that's true. Philosophically, what you said is true. It may happen, but at the same time, we have the risk mitigated. Okay,
Right.
90
So
days
the
notice period.
mitigation part,
Shadow is
yes,
there.
correct. The
Shadowing is there.
mitigation
KT
is
is
we
there.
need to have alternate resource who can take over, who can do the knowledge transfer, and can take the project from where it has been left. So
Yeah.
that is one mitigation strategy which needs to be worked upon with the resource manager.
Right. So these all things are okay. It still have some certain, shadowing to the risk coverage. But I'm talking about uncertainty. So which can sudden appears and you don't have any clue. Okay, what it may be.
So what about the environment, or what about the system itself? If we were
System
to,
itself.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm. System
Yes, go
collapse.
ahead.
All of
Yeah,
a
Yeah,
sudden, yeah, yeah.
I
a
was going to
production
talk
System.
about
outage or
that
something. Yeah.
environmental.
Yes.
Er,
Exactly. Natural
Yeah,
disasters or
yeah.
pandemics,
Environment goes down and
political,
all. Yes, yes.
political
So
instability.
yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday we talked about this pestle. Okay, political, economical, environmental, social, transportational, and legal. So from there also any uncertainty come. One thing is very important. I really still want to hear from you. Are you able to detect it or not? Because was somewhere close. What else? What else? And it is quite frequent. Yeah. What else can happen? See, resource are living. That's one of the uncertainty may happen. Resource are having the shadow, that is the mitigation plan. Okay, what else can happen when it comes
There
to
could be,
uncertainty?
the risk from the communication side.
Hmm.
If communication is not happening or not flowing through properly, then there will be gap, and that will create risk.
Communication breakdown can be, yeah, this can be uncertain. Even though it's planned, it may not reach. You understood that
Yes.
there was a fine time a couple of years ago. WhatsApp, Facebook, everything was down, okay, for a certain amount of time. It was never planned. People were gradually started creating a panic, okay, who were especially into business, and they were needed to transfer certain data on WhatsApp, okay, some PDF and all. They failed to do so for certain amount of time. Okay, these were uncertain. Yes or no? That becomes the environmental breakdown. That was the uncertain, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, the
One
mitigation
thing is,
to this is, the periodic status report where everyone is invited and project manager is conducting the meeting, asking what is going on, what are,
hmm,
so that
right.
is the mitigation factor.
Okay.
And the communication is sent out by project manager to all the stakeholders about the status of the tasks and whatever risk and issues.
Right, right. So the frequent thing what project manager witness is about the resource only, but when resource is going on sudden leave, no plan, nothing, all of a sudden sick leave or something, and that goes for longer. That's the biggest risk. That's the biggest uncertainty because it never comes planned. It's unplanned leaves. How you're going to cope up with that? So as a project manager, you should have done the planning well in advance. Okay, consider these are going to happen again and again in every single project. How you have calculated their strength and their contribution? What if such thing happens? How you are going to be still adaptable and resiliency? If as a project manager you are not thinking about it, then that's a bigger risk in itself, right? And you cannot deny that doesn't happen. See, that happens when risk, this is the risk when resources leaving you within a notice period. But this is uncertain when a key resource is all of a sudden with the communication breakdown, and after 2 days his informing was not well, and that's the reason there was no communication floated. You can't help to such scenario. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you
yes.
have to do these activity well in advance. And isn't it very regular? Isn't it very predictable in any of the project? Isn't it predictable? Yes or no? Such scenario
Yes,
may
yes.
occur.
Yes, yes.
But when it occurs, it is uncertain. Okay. You were not knowing who are going to do that. But somewhere before the start of this such scenario, you are able to know that, okay, sometime once in a while may happen, then what should I have been the in the scenario of the planning? But few things, even those are uncertain, you don't have the control over it. Where you can control, that's when you have been the hired, you have been hired as a project manager. In such scenario, what the resolution you can bring. Okay, with me so far, everyone making some sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
let's move ahead and let's decode the last 12th principle, that is enable change to achieve the envisioned future state. Now here, not only just project manager, here also the business analyst has to pay attention. Okay, so I want to someone to read the uh, left portion of this card, please. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Prepare those impacted for the adoption and sustainment of new and different behaviors and processes required for the transition from the current state to the intended future state created by the project outcomes.
Yes. Thank you so much for reading this out. So when we are talking about change, um, so there are multiple layer of the changes it could have. Okay, and so what is the plan when it comes to change is continuously happening? Like one example of the change you have already given. So just give me a second. Okay, so yeah, if I'll talk about the change itself can be seen where from, which is always happening. Even in PM Box 7 itself is witnessing the change. Okay, every single time if new version is coming, they are coming with the smaller big change. Okay, say okay. So it uh, continues to focus on the processes. Okay, whether somewhere focus is quite strict, then thereby how the project is being managed. They are coming with the guide. PMBOK is the guide that manages, that talks about the delivering the project value realization, which I'm talking about. So how you can shift from process to principle, and how you can focus on this principle, especially when it comes to change, to make the process quite strict, so that when it gets followed, it leads to the value realization. Any new framework which has been added or acknowledged to embrace the adaptability, in the project management, that's the result of the change. Okay, but are you able to do that? So as it read by Ajibu, that how you're going to prepare those impacted for the adoption of the sustainment of new and different behavior and processes required for the transition of the current state to intended future. So it means that if you can only embrace the change if you have the realization of the current state, and you know the path can be explored further, but you know the future state, the objective where you need to reach. And for reaching that, there could be the multiple paths. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. And what is the fastest path? And in the every checkpoint, at every mile, it is adding the value. Can you cover that? Is there anything which is beyond that? Okay. And still adding value to the customer. So where you are emphasizing the value realization for the stakeholder, even you are accommodating the change. Okay, that you need to think. Are you, for doing so, mentally are you flexible? Okay, if you are mentally flexible, then you become more adaptive when it comes to accommodating the change. Change is continue to happen. So that was also a change. The one example I gave, uncertainty is the flavor of the change. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes,
People
yes.
living the organization is the flavor of change. Yeah. If I'm expecting a response, you are not responding, that is another change. Okay, when you are responding, that is another change. So how you're going to deal with such situation? Okay, so change is continuous, and still you have to be adaptive to deal with such situation. At every layer, can you continue to educate who are going to realize the value, how to take the how to's are very important, right? Customer is not knowing that how to respond to such situation, how to respond to any accommodated changes coming from the vendor. Okay, then what extra you can do? So as a project manager or business analyst, can you continue to do that even though customer does not know how to respond to such accommodative changes? You can train them. Okay, when it comes to that, see, ultimately, if you are not going to responsive, this has to be two-way communication. You know, you talk about the feedback loop. Customer has to give the feedback, then only you continue to deliver the value what they are seeking. If customer is always silent, how you can continue to deliver the value? So you need to be such activation agent for the customer who will pull the responses from them. Okay, if not, you know, the value realization will not meet. At the second line of engineer or second line of the leaders, what they can do is that they can continue to track, they can continue to be in the conversation and passive conversation, but the front line of leader, they may be expecting the big transformation. If the second line of leaders are not easily becoming conversational, or their interaction does not become more conversational or more feedback oriented, the concrete value won't be realized, and that will create concern about concern to the frontline leaders. With me so far? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
want someone to read the indicators for me, please, on the right hand side.
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. A structured approach to change helps individuals, groups, and the organization transition from the current state to a future desired state. Change can originate from internal influences or external sources. Enabling change can be challenging as not all stakeholders embrace change. Attempting too much change in a short time can lead to change fatigue and/or resistance. Stakeholder engagement and motivational approaches assist in change adoption.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for reading. So it's a great knowledge about the change. So change has to also follow a flow. Okay. So once change is introduced, it is spiked. Okay. It is spiked, but it cannot be accepted immediately. Okay. Then this change has to be stabilized. Okay. And worker has to continue to let it be stable, and then again the change may take place. Okay. Again, every change has to be first stabilized, then only a new change can be introduced. Why? Because that will not create any sort of fatigue or resistance. But when we are talking about the change does not come alone. Change comes with resistance completely. And when change comes with the resistance, you need to educate your stakeholder to embrace it. How would you do that? So change has to not pair with just resistance. It has to be also paired with the training. Okay. It has to be also facilitated with the acceptance of the change. Okay. When you are carrying these triangle, okay, then only there is the success of this change is going to become, because change has to come. Change is coming with the enablement. So enablement is always disguised, but resistance is always in front, because it is just changing the state of mind, state of physics, and state of location as well. Okay, so anything may happen, multiple changes may happen. Change comes with the versatile impact, holistic impact. Okay, so for that one need to be trained for the system thinking as well. Have you gone through this principle of the system thinking today or not? Did you go through today? Yes, no? Guys.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Did you go through the system thinking? Was the one of the, I think one of the, I don't know. It was one of the principle. Let me quickly check whether it was here or not. So you went through
Yes, we
stewardship,
did.
team, okay, values. Yes, it was the fifth one. Okay. So
Right.
when you see, when
Yeah.
I was first time introducing, when I was introducing first time about this 12 principle, I was just connecting the dots, that how everything is interlinked with each other. Okay. So ultimately it will improve the alignment with the various approaches you can decide. Okay. So there was one principle that gives you leverage to decide the approach as well. I don't know whether it is there or not. Okay. So here itself in the system thinking only, you in the tailoring, you define the approach as well. Okay. So yeah, so it was covered. All right. Okay. So, and the approach is about, when we are talking about approach for software delivery, what does it mean? What comes in your mind? What comes in your mind? Is methodology, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it could be any sort of methodology. So how we are going to define, we are going to talk about it. What is going to come for the next? Tailoring as per PM Box 7. So PM Box 7 gives you the strength to tailor the approach, and we are going to take a deep dive into this in the next coming days, in the next session. All right, everyone. Any questions so far?
No.
Yes, no? Okay. So let me quickly ask before closing it and wrapping it up. One word that sits in your mind as a takeaway. Let's hear from Suchita. Suchita, what do you feel like saying? One
It
word
was
that is in
good.
your mind.
It was good and
And
interesting. Yeah.
what word you will take away as a project manager? Anything in your mind?
That
You
is
learned
risk.
12 principles.
Risk.
Risk. Okay. Thank you so much, Suchita. So risk and take mitigation as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's hear from Abhishek. Abhishek, what do you feel like saying? One word that's in your mind.
Yeah, it was impactful. It was really impactful.
Impactful. And one word from PM Walk, what you are going to take? And 12 principle.
Accountability.
Accountability. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Ajibu, what do you feel like saying? One word that is from 12 principle.
It was informative.
And one word from 12 principle.
Responsibility.
Responsibility. Okay, thank you so much. Let's hear from Vikas. Vikas, what do you feel like saying? One word that still hits in your mind from 12 principle.
Risk management.
Risk management. Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone. We are going to talk soon to you, and have a wonderful good night sleep. Happy weekend. We'll talk to you again. Bye. Good night,
Good
everyone.
night. Good
Thank you
night.
so much.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Thank you.